Hi, Lucy. I have taken your magazine spread and I've opened it up in a different program, so don't worry about it looking unfamiliar. This is actually Illustrator, but I did this so that I could take aspects of your design and then move it around without actually being able to edit it in InDesign. So this is what you submitted to me. If we come over here and look at this first page, go ahead and expand this box so so we have more of the plain color around the text because it's hard to read with how close this is to the edge, especially right here. So make the box a little bit wider and even taller. If you can, I would shrink these text boxes probably up a line or two so that you can see the rest of the flowers. And then that way this bottom part of the photo will feel like it's finished. So go ahead and shrink these up to about right here instead. And then the rest of this text will just flow onto the next page, which is fine. As far as the title, you can see that this was moved up a little bit. I would put the blessing of in its own text box so that it can be closer to scripture. And that way it's also not so much on the shore up here. So go ahead and move this down so it sits about right there. The bottom of the letter sits about right there where that shadow is in the river. And that way the top will be easier to read and it'll be a little bit closer to this, and then you can get rid of that space. So that's what I would do on the first page. On the spread, I like what you did with this photo. I would change these colors. There's still a lot going on, especially this contrast. I think it's too much. When we're doing things for print, and this is a simulation of a print project, make sure that all of your text is inside this purple line. That's the bound line for text. If it is outside of that line, it's not guaranteed that it will be printed and not cut off. So since we're simulating a magazine spread that would be printed, all of the text needs to be inside this purple bounding box. So go ahead and move that over. I would get rid of the yellow background and do the green. And then I would probably shorten or make your text size smaller for your headings, especially this one, because it takes up 3 lines. So think of maybe a way you could make this a little bit smaller. I would also go in and double check on your article and see where the new paragraphs are. Here you've got 2 different paragraphs, but this looks like it's all one paragraph, and I don't know if that's actually how it was written. It looks really daunting as a reader to go ahead and read this giant block of text. It's lots easier for us to take things in chunks in paragraphs. So go ahead and double check where your paragraphs would be in both of these sections. I would also make your captions closer to the paragraph that it follows. Get rid of some of this space. If we think back to the first week of school where we talked about proximity, when things are closer, they're related. So make these a little bit closer so that we know that all of this content is going to talk about whatever the heading is describing. And then I would probably work on your pull quote a little bit more. It's a little distracting and needs some more space over here. These 2 lines are clashing with this word right here. So it needs a little bit more space. I did post a video in the announcements, and it talks about pull quotes and how to use them and some effective things that you can do in order to create an effective pull quote. So those are the things that I would look at. I went ahead and kind of shifted some things around if I was working on this spread. And I would do something like this to simplify your colors. I just went and stuck with the green and then did white over here. It's not quite so busy and you're not trying to cram too much onto 2 pages or one spread. but it still feels like it's connected because the green's in over here and on the flowers and also on the front page. I also took it a step further and did something kind of like this. It's an option. In the video that I go over, I talk about how to do pull quotes similar to this. You don't have to do this. I was just thinking of something for your text wrap. But this kind of a balance between a color and a photo and the white page, and then I changed this color. If you are worried about your color scheme and incorporating more colors, I did the headings as this green, or you could try them as a purple, or even a red. I think a red would be really nice. It's a bold, striking color, but I would do something like this with the colors, do something a little bit more subtle. Granted, in this design, you still need to add a pull quote. So you could add one at the bottom down here, to like a box, and then have it text wrap around your pull quote. You could also have it be part of this photo right here, maybe. Have your pull quote right there. If you wanted to crop this photo right here and extend it, maybe you could do something like this. Don't worry about what this looks like right now. It'll be different in InDesign, but you could do something like this. And then move it down and then maybe enlarge it. So it goes into this column and then text wrap around to this photo. And so do different things like that. But I would definitely simplify the colors, especially on this spread. And then do the things that I commented on for just the changing of the placement and enlarging this square. And then you should be good. It's looking, it's moving right along and it's looking great. You're making great progress from your draft. If you have any other questions, go ahead and send me an email. But other than that, I hope that helps.